Hi, welcome to Magical Living Coaching. This is Marianne Candido, and this is the EFT for Weight Loss series. Today, we're going to focus on forgiveness. It's a really tough one to master, but it is something that is imperative if we want to release the baggage and lighten up and free our heart from all those troubling issues and heaviness. And when we lighten up, our body lightens up and it frees our body to do what it needs to do, and it frees our body and mind to function more properly. EFT, what it is using the acupuncture points without using needles, and we use tapping on those energy meridians to free up that disruption in the body's energy field. And these disruptions are caused by core issues, and our weight issues are, a lot of it has to do with the effect that our body is not functioning properly, and we have these energy restrictions. And a lot of those energy restrictions have a core event or issue that creates this disruption in our energy pattern. And when it comes to food and our bad habits, that creates this energy disruption, which then leads to putting on weight and not eating properly, not being as healthy as we can be. So we all have to kind of look at what's eating us as opposed to what we're eating. Yes, we want to eat properly, and that's a huge part of any weight loss program or any lifestyle change. And I don't like diets because they're short term. They don't support a lifestyle change, although there are some out there that really do encourage changing the lifestyle. But when we have bad habits that are ingrained in our energy field, it's really hard to get rid of those on that neurological level. So that's what we want to do with EFT. And when we talk about forgiveness and we bottle up emotions and we have things that we hold inside and grudges and anger and different things that we perceive others have wronged us. And we also have to forgive ourselves for things. I am certain if you sit there and you think about certain things in your life, that you will find things that you would like to forgive yourself over. It's a funny thing because it's easier for us to forgive others than it is ourselves. Just like it's easier to forgive a stranger than it is to forgive a friend. Okay? So can you imagine how hard it is to forgive ourselves? So today we're going to tap on forgiving ourselves. I think that's a really big one. So if you want to pause the video right now and think about something that you want to forgive yourself about. It doesn't have to be a blanket forgiveness. It probably would be better if there was a little broken down into little pieces, maybe little events that are holding, you're bottling up inside you. So, and you can also, instead of going through the whole feeling of an event and all those emotions, you can just simply look at it like a movie. And it would be a movie clip, and name that movie clip. Okay? My movie clip will be the bike incident. I know completely what it was that I am referring to, and rather than go through everything in my head and how bad I feel about that bike incident, I will just simply right now call it the bike incident, and we will tap on that. But go ahead and tap on your event that in your heart that you would like to clear. Okay, so mine is about a 9. Okay, so even though I feel guilt and shame over the bike incident, I still deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I feel guilt and shame over the bike incident when I was a child, I still deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I feel guilt and shame, and it's hard to forgive myself over the bike incident, I still deeply and completely accept myself. I feel guilt and shame about the bike incident. The bike incident creates guilt and shame. It's hard for me to forgive myself. I think about how hard my parents worked for their money. I feel so guilty and full of shame. This bike incident, I'm not proud of that event. It's definitely not one of my higher moments, the bike incident. I feel heavy guilt and shame over the bike incident. I would love to forgive myself, and I'm having a hard time. Okay, so I'm going to take stock of my energy level here, and a 0 to 10 I was at a 9 of my, it's called the SUD level, the subjective unit level. So I am now about at a 7. So I'm going to do another round, and I think I'm going to go ahead and use the affirmations afterward to turn around that. So even though I still have remaining guilt and shame regarding the bike incident, I still deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I still have remaining guilt and shame over the bike incident when I was a child, and it's hard to forgive myself, I still deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I still have remaining guilt and shame regarding the bike incident, I still deeply and completely accept myself. This remaining guilt and shame, and it's hard to forgive myself. This remaining guilt and shame from the bike incident. Not one of my better moments as a child. I feel really bad. My parents worked really hard for their money, and I feel so bad for what I've done. This guilt and shame, remaining guilt and shame. This remaining guilt and shame from the bike incident. This inability to forgive myself over the bike incident. Okay, so now I'm going to turn it around and use some affirmations. This guilt and shame doesn't serve me anymore. It's time to release the guilt and shame. I was a child. I was influenced by another child. It's okay to release it. My parents loved me unconditionally, which means they accepted my mistakes. We all make mistakes. It's okay to release the guilt and shame. This guilt and shame, I'm ready to release it. It doesn't serve me anymore. It was a learning lesson for me. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and take stock over my SUD level. So let's see. I am down to between a 0 and 1. So I truly believe I've cleared that. And what that will do is it'll lighten me up. It'll lighten my load. It's like carrying suitcases and you're dropping them off. And when you drop that weight, figuratively, you are helping your body to function better, and you're lightening up. And what happens is the outer world is reflected by your inner world, and my inner world is lightening up. And I'm seeing great results with that. I've been doing this EFT for weight loss for 2 weeks now online with you all, and I am down 3 pounds without going on any specific weight loss regimens, without increasing my exercise. I'm just keeping steady, making sure I exercise 5 to 6 days a week. I'm not killing myself. Do 2 days of Zumba, and I walk every day. And as far as the food, I am eating balanced, nutritious meals. I'm not overeating anymore. I am not snack eating as much anymore. A little bit, not too much. I am not eating popcorn every night like I used to. Pretty much only eating it maybe 1 night a week. I am not getting those hunger pains when I watch TV and see a commercial that has food, which we tapped on that. If you notice, one of the sessions we did was that. And let's see. I'm eating slower, which is helping me to fill up faster. And it's just all around. I'm eating better, making better choices, which is really important. So when we free up some of the issues that were eating us, it's not so much what we're eating because we're freeing those up. And we are also tapping on the global issues like cravings. Like I had cravings for carbs and we worked that out. And I'm not eating as much bread anymore. I used to want to have bread with every meal. And now that's not the case. And I don't miss it. I love bread, but I don't miss it. I don't crave it. It's just a really fabulous inner energy shift for me. Okay, so I'm hoping that you're experiencing the same type of shifts. Feel free to email me or comment on the blog to talk about what you would like to talk about more and tap on more. So I think our next issue tomorrow will be boredom eating. I know I do it. I know my son does it, and I know a lot of people do it. So let's talk tomorrow. We'll tap on boredom eating. Thank you for joining me. This is Marianne Candido with Magical Living Coaching. Magical journeys to you. Take care.